Kakadosh Boker Tov, we're continuing with Halachot. In Mishnah Yud Bet in Pirkei Avot it says, Hillel Omer, Heve mitalmidav shel Aharon, Ohev Shalom v'rodev Shalom, Ohev et habriyot u'mkarevan laTorah. So Hillel says that a person should be like the students of Aaron HaKohen. Ohev Shalom, he loves Shalom. Rodev Shalom, he's pursuing Shalom. Ohev et habriyot, he loves everybody. U'mkarevan laTorah, and he's bringing them closer to the Torah. Rav Vadim Marturura says that when Aaron used to know that somebody did an Avirah, הוא היה מתחבר עמו, הוא מראה לו פנים צהובות, he used to come, he used to give him a huge smile, והיה אותו אדם מתבייש, the person would be embarrassed, and he said, if this tzaddik knew my actions, he would be running away from me. So because of that, he used to retract and he used to do teshuvah, and that's what the Navi comes and he testifies by saying in Malachi, Beshalom uvmishor alach iti v'rabim hashim me'avon, that he came with me with shalom, and he came with me with straightness, and therefore he made that a lot of people were able to do teshuvah. The Tosfot Yom Tov comes and he asks an incredible question. He says, 1 second, this is exactly what we learned yesterday. Yesterday we learned that Nitai Arbeli says, Al titchaber larasha, do not connect yourself with a rasha, with a wicked person. So he comes and he says, so if it's going to be like that, how does Aaron HaKohen come and he connects to a rasha and he shows a smile? And therefore says the Tosfot Yom Tov, that's not the explanation in the Rav Vadim Mertu, not like the Rav Vadia Mibar Tzenura. The Kavanah was not that Aaron used to be mitchaber imo, right? And you shouldn't do so. But rather you have to give him shalom. It's true, you say hello, you say this, but don't start connecting yourself to a rasha, because that's keneged, well, that's exact opposite of what we learned yesterday, to do with Nitaya Beli. So he comes and he says, the Tosfot Yom Tov brings a proof from the Avot Rabbi Natan, Perek Yud Bet. The Avot Rabbi Natan says, what does it come to teach you? That he brought back a lot of people from doing sin. Right? He used to come and he used to see somebody in the shuk, in the marketplace. He used to greet him. The next day, the person wanted to do an Avirah, and then he used to say, whoa, how could it be? When's the next time I'm going to see Aaron? How am I going to come and I'm going to look him in the face? I'm going to be embarrassed. So because of that, he's going to stop from doing an Avirah. So it comes out that the Tosafot Yom Tov, he argues on Rav Vadim Marturura, he says, the explanation of Aaron HaKohen was not that he connected to a rasha to come and to bring him to do teshuvah. That you're not supposed to do. It's asur for you to do that. But rather, what are you supposed to do? He says by coming and greeting the person beforehand, tomorrow, when he wanted to come to do an Avirah, he refrained from doing an Avirah. Because he says, how am I going to come and I'm going to do an Avirah? V'chen katav Rambam. It's also the psak of the Rambam. The Rambam says, Matchilo leshalom, v'ya mitahev alav, v'ya mareh lesaper imo, v'ya isha hu mitbayesh b'nafsho. So he comes and he says that at the beginning he used to show that he used to love him, and then he used to be as if that he wanted to speak to him, and then he was embarrassed to do an Avirah afterwards. So tzmashma, he says that it's not that he was mitchaber elav, right? And that's why the Rambam did not say lashon chibur, right? Why? Because he says v'al titchaber larasha. Now he says like this yesod, right? That was pashut to the Tosfot Yom Tov, that even to a rasha you should not come close to him to bring him back to bring him back to be mekarev oto laTorah. It's also brought down mefurash in the Sefer Chasidim. The Sefer Chasidim of Yehuda Chassid says in Siman Taf Kuf Pevav, he says Amnon haya lo rea ushmo Yonadav, right? Ben Shemaya Achi David. So he comes and he says Amnon, he had a friend, and his friend, his name was Yonadav and Shema Achi David. So he says Yonadav was a ish chacham meod. This is brought down. But what does it mean la rea? Mikar amru al titchaber ladam larasha afilu kavod Torah. Why? The Mechilta of Rashbi comes and he says because his name at the beginning was called Yehonadav, which Yod Hey, just like Yehuda, you have the Yod Hey of the name of Hashem. But afterwards, once he was mitchaber to somebody that wasn't proper, his name became Yonadav. It was taken out the letter Hey of the name of Hashem, and therefore instead of Yehonadav, it became Yonadav. So Mikan Amru, Al Yitchaber Adam Larasha Afilu Lekarvo LaTorah, even to bring them closer to the Torah. So you have the Sefer Chasidim, and then you have the Mechilta of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, of Rashbi. So he says, "V'katav Rashbatz," says the Rashbatz in the Magen Avot, "Hatam b'davar lefi shitchabro mitovim imraim." When a person comes closer, whether it's to the good people or the bad people, he's mechazek et yidehem ma'asehem. He's strengthening their actions. It's ki'ilu that he himself, right, is doing their actions. So a person should be careful. So the Avot Arosh comes and he asks a question against this. It's a Gemara. The Gemara in Mesechet Sanhedrin Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph says they were Biryonim. There were these people, usually they were like bandits, people that they weren't the best, the highest of stature in the vicinity of Rabbi Zera. And he used to bring them closer. And the Rabbanan were all upset. Why is he bringing them closer? What's he trying to do? But when he passed away, when Rabbi Zera passed away, he said, 1 second, until now I was always praying with you guys. I was praying for you guys. And that's why you were able to succeed. If he's going to pass away, who's going to protect you guys? What did they do? They did teshuvah. So he says, you see from here, Rabbi Zera did bring people back, and he got closer to people that they weren't of the best stature in order to bring them closer to doing teshuvah. So the answer over there, he says that even if he was mekarvam, he says he never came and he never really attached himself to them in order to become like them. He says, so that way he cannot learn from their actions. And according to his reasoning, the tam of Isurit Chabrut is because maybe you're going to learn from their actions, which means that if you're going to come and you're going to be beside people, and these people are not doing the best of things, so then it could become a very big problem that you're going to become influenced and you will go down yourself. And the Avot Rosh comes, he says, for himself it's not a question, because really, be'emet, it's actually brought down in the Gemara, that the rabbis were makpidim on Rabbi Zera. So even if you're going to bring a proof from Rabbi Zera, the Rabbanan is all the rabbis around him were against him. So you don't have a question and bringing a proof from Rabbi Zera. The fact that the Gemara itself says that the Rabbanan were against what Rabbi Zera says, that's all that you have to do. It's true that you could already come and say that it's true, he wasn't really mitchaber, it could be that he was just, friendly if you want to say, but it wasn't a real friendship. But it doesn't matter, but you still have that all the rabbis were against it. So a person should be careful. Ve'al titchaber la'rasha means that a person should not connect himself with the Rashaim, whether it is because he's going to become influenced, right, in what their actions are, and it's as if that he's actually helping their actions. So a person should be very careful, right, of this Mishnah as well.